point out today was something that I discovered about this blood magic, and like that video where I'm protesting outwardly to the world that this world is mine and that no one can stop me. And I've been doing this for a while now, and what I'm doing is I'm feeding the Ethernet. I don't care if I get views. What I'm doing is I'm feeding it into the matrix, and then it unfolds somehow. So what I noticed is that when I throw my blood over my intent, I did it the one time that I published it to the Ethernet, and then you see, I started making videos where I could start seeing, and I started pointing out that Jesus is the Son and that I am the Antichrist himself. Now, so my God, when people hear that for the first time, I'm sure it sounds shocking. You know, you can tell me whatever you want. If I don't make videos, you're fucking dead. Because nobody's gonna go beat the internet with the truth, which is that every company will point to a holy grail. So, and I see it on everything. It doesn't matter if I pick up this coin, Mexico is me, or upside down is we. X, I, go. You know, into the holy hole. Everything that, all these symbols, everything. You know, you go to church, you put down your tongue, you see the tongue sticking out. It's just like on the coin over here. You know, it's X marks the spot. So, all these different symbols over here, like you sit up your Christmas tree on the X, and you see the dung beetle, you sit in a pew in the church because it's the ash trailing light. You know, every word you speak is a magic spell. So let's just go right to it. For anybody who talks negative about blood magic, these are people who were necrophiliacs. When they were born, the devil took their soul, pricked right up their foot. It was nailed off to the Vatican, and they set up their country set up a corporation in your name, and a corporation is a dead corpse. So you are literally the Walking Dead. Your favorite shows are all about zombies and everything, and it's crazy. So what I'm telling you is what happened was when I published my blood to the Ethernet, I got my soul back, and now I can see I can take up more because I can see everything, and it doesn't matter what you believe. I'm doing this for the benefit of all, so that all the forces of the universe get behind me, because it's for the benefit of all. So it's like you have to unite the left and right side of your brain. So I'm walking a real fine line, and I can't be Jesus. Jesus is the Son, and that's what's programming. I'm the Antichrist. It's like I'm walking a line. It's like a balancing act. It's for the benefit of all. You say he's light, he's dark, this is this, this, that. Who are you to judge anybody? What I'm telling you, it is that simple. I can see it all. And I don't need your fucking advice. You see what I'm saying? So when it finally sinks in that I'm not the evil one here. Evil is when good people do nothing. When you don't place your blood beside my own, you're literally lost at sea. You're officially dead. And if you're officially dead and you have sex with someone else who's not officially dead, you are a necrophiliac by definition. It says it in the Blackmore Dictionary, 1936, that you're a monster with no inheritable blood. You cannot be heir to any land because you're lost at sea. You're in Davy Jones's locker. You're a filthy. Let me say it. Watch. This is how you say it to someone else. You're a filthy necrophiliac. You know what I mean? Because you lost at sea and you're officially dead legally. They have your soul print in the Vatican. You have to. I'm just showing you how to dish it out to the fucking retards. And there's so many retards beyond magic like that. The Jiggy Dreams and all these other guys talking about blood magic that they've never done it. I have done it, and I published it to the whole world to see. And nobody protested it, and I was infused with knowledge. It went full circle, and it slowly rolled itself into reality. And now it's woven in. Nobody killed me in 360 degrees. Now if anybody killed me, I'd probably turn out to be the next Jesus. You know what I'm saying? It's just, they can't do that because it would work. You know what I'm saying? There's no way to stop this train. There is no way to stop this. Blood is the most powerful substance. It's that everything you do is an act. How was your performance at school today, work today, in bed today? Whatever it is, it's your performance, you're an actor. You bow down again, showing your way out. There is no way to fuck this up. You see what I'm saying? I see it. And when you lost your virginity, you lost your divinity. It's called losing your spiritual high man. So you put your dick into someone for the first time, you both lost your virginity. They only sacrifice virgins for the powerful blood because it's pure. And what I'm saying is that when you put your blood up for the benefit of all. It's like you restore your spiritual high man, this astral ability to see with those eyes. Where, like I say, Dr. Watts is looking down on John. I can do all that shit. And I don't need anybody's advice. I know exactly what to do. And what I'm saying, when 144,000 living beings come back to life, you gotta understand that when you put your blood up for the benefit of all, what happened was, look around you, the world became yours because everybody else is legally dead. They have no right to any land. You're here as an act of the Creator, using your blood that your Creator gave you. And you're bringing forth, if you don't place your blood beside my own, you're a filthy necrophiliac. The devil has your soul in the Vatican. There is no way around it. You're either on board for the benefit of all or you're not. And there is no way to fuck this up. So, the key thing that we want to get across is that every time I feed that idea into the, I don't care if it says 1 view, 5 views, 0 views. It was just to get it into the ether, the idea. And it leads it into the matrix. The U2 is it's like a small piece of connected to the big tube that you're in right now. Like you're in the boob tube right now. And by you putting your blood over into the U-tube, it's like it spirals it right into the reality. I mean, I published that. I made a video. You need to become the Antichrist yourself, breaking everything down. Then I published that video as the Prince of Darkness because you need to avoid the light. It's the first light of death that you see. Turn your consciousness in your heart and say, take me home. And what I'm saying is that the idea about this Prince of Darkness, this Antichrist, somebody else came up with those words, and when they did that, there was an elemental created, an elemental spirit, that a shimmer of light that was licking onto the fabric of reality. And since then, it's been repeated so many times that this guy's going to come, he's going to, they say, many will come in the name of Jesus. That's funny. I am the one true Antichrist himself, telling you that Jesus is the Son and the Son is conscious. And so you place your eyes on the Son and say, even the knowledge of the age, I'm here to bring forth heaven and earth. Nobody carries this to religion, you know. It's like, you're here to mine gold and work for worthless paper backed by your own stupidity. That's what these things are. It's worthless trinkets and it's just crazy. Everlasting life is right over there. So, you know, I talked to somebody who said, well, to help me recover free energy and this and that. Get your mind as a fucking gutter. Every compass is pointing to everlasting life. When perpetual twilight, everyone at the horizon is right over there. There is no way to screw it up. There's 4 entrances into the place. The key thing in our sense of is that the people that are over there guarding that gate, they're very, very smart, and they know what blood thicker than water. You're either blood thicker than water with the rest of your brethren, or you're not. Either Apple said you're here to bring forth heaven and earth. Well, why would they let you into the Garden of Eden, heaven? How the fuck could they let you into heaven if you didn't at least say what your intent was? Only the devil hides his intent. Only the devil hides his intent. Where we're going, like the tree, the Christmas tree, we're going into the, you know, into the tent. It's like a tent. You know, they were going in there so that where you close your eyes to make a wish, you just can't see it. You're so fucking satanic, it's not even funny. So when people do that shit, that you think that that's just funny. Every time you get on your internet, it's the new world order. I'd rather scare you away. You either know you're one of us or you're not.
Okay, so let's not talk about the people that are not. I would like to know more about the people that are. I'd like to know more about the 144,000.
So, talk to them. They got their blood already scrolled down. You can see them right beside. I see your videos up there. You know, they're right beside your videos already. So, I can go talk to them. You know.
Well, that's why I'm paying to be here.
Yeah, you're already attached to us. You don't know it yet. I put up one for you already. And in 360 degrees, you're going to wake up. Because I already put my blood up for you. And, take your time. It's okay. I put up so much blood. I put up enough blood for a lot of people. So, I'm telling you, just take your time. It's going to hit you. You've only been at this for a few months with me now, making videos and, you know, it's like you're like advertising for it, you know? You don't realize that every video you put up is like, it's advertising. So I'm with you, man. I don't have anything negative to say
off. Jerk off daily ritually. You need to shower ritually. You eat ritually. You have a Sunday ritually. This you do one time. One time. It's not a contract. It's your intent. You're putting it into the Ethernet so that you grab an elemental power out of the universe where the Akashic records are. It brings back to you the knowledge. That's what you're doing. You're grabbing this knowledge and you're seeing the universe that you're alive and that you're one of these.
Right, so is it possible that I'm doing the blood over intent?
I'd rather you do the blood over intent. Let's see people. Conversation himself telling you, don't do blood over intent unless you're damn sure you're ready to take over the universe with me. There's 144,000 of you that are ready to take over the universe with me, become eternal, and take over, bring over heaven and earth for the benefit of all, whether anybody likes it or not. The rest of you, you're not supposed to do it.
Don't do it. Okay, so I'm asked not to do it. Don't fucking do it unless you know for sure you're one of those 144,000. So like I said, I'm with Jay here.
So what I'm really getting
And like I said, people don't need to do the blood over intent. There is something. I'm telling people not to do the blood over intent. I'm here with you right now saying don't do it.
Don't do it. Do not do it. I set out on the iron fucking sheet. No,
Okay.
Would you be crazy to put up your blood beside that? You'd have to be like one of those 144,000 here to bring forth heaven and earth and take over the universe. Like, don't drag me into hell because you're going to take over hell. That type of person. And there's only a few of us out there. I'd rather scare you away. You either know you're one of us or you're not.
I can see how to grab a lot of more power now. It's really kind of easy to grab power now. Because when you protest shit outwardly on the Ethernet and nobody can test it, nobody murdered me. They had 360 days. Now, if anybody, I would end up being the Stephen Christ or something. You know, it just wouldn't make any sense. There's no way to stop this. We're going to the holy hole. In 2.4 years from November 8th, 2016, we're going to be there. I've protested this outwardly in the world for quite some time, that we're going here, that no one can stop us. And I'm telling you, every time you weave it into reality, it brings you some power. You got to learn how to grasp this immediately. Your blood is the most powerful substance in the universe. If it's not beside my own, you're legally dead. You have no blood to spill because you're already dead. You can't possibly be in the book of life. You have no blood of your own to put up. You would have to murder an animal to get their blood, or murder your own children to get their blood. No, just bring this up. Or next time you have a movement, rub some of your blood on there. It's just application believers now. It's your blood. I mean, it's so simple. There is no way to fuck it up. And if you think evil is when good people do nothing, you can sit there and watch the shit that I've seen enough. And I've seen so much write something out on a piece of paper that's for the benefit of all and put your blood on it and watch how the forces of the universe get behind you. Nobody wants to get behind you if you're a piece of fucking shit and you're not here for the benefit of all. To shake people to their core with this idea that, you know, I've stolen the idea of Satan by putting up gallons of blood. Now not even anybody on the earth can put up that much blood without killing themselves. So, not anybody can contest it. So, when you put your blood up, you gotta understand that they said this was Satan's world. And I stole all that power. Now it's directed at heaven and earth. It's this way specifically for a reason, because it's supposed to scare everybody away. Only 144,000 will have the heart to see it. That's it. The rest of the people will have to follow in our footsteps after, because we broke the doorway into the Garden of Eden. And we led the way. And I'm with you. I prefer to scare most of the people away, because we just want the best of the best with the most pure blood. And that makes sense to me. So I'm with you, Jay. Let's scare them away from the idea. You know, I'm really with you, Jay. We want to scare as many people away from the idea as possible. We only want 144,000. That's the book of life. It's exactly that way for a reason. So, I'm on your team, bro. Like I said, the initial exodus is only fitting 144,000. That's the book of life. Not everybody can go, and the hole is only so big. So, only so many people can gangbang in at the same time. We have to lead the pathway in, and then the rest of everybody can follow that didn't do their blood over intent. But we're going to crack the door for everybody. So, you know, that scroll that the Creator's making is literally that list of blood over intents. Those are the people that were sent here to do that. That's why we're in the book of life. The rest of the people, what I can see are phantoms in the computer. They're already dead. They've already uploaded their conscience into his computer. They're not getting out. They can get to the Holy Grail and live forever and not have to go through this recycle stuff. But even that's over also, because we're getting to the Holy Grail before we're dead, and that means anybody else that's born into this world after that is going to make it to the Holy Grail. The moon recycling system is over. Everything's over with this. So, like I said, I don't want to wake up everybody. I just need to wake up 144,000. I'd rather scare more people away. this is your holy sphere, and it's pointing directly towards this height into the hole at the center of the disk. There has to be a ground zero there. It's called ground zero Earth. It's the astral ship that's come out. So all this stuff is all connected to the Ethernet somehow, and your blood turns out to be this most powerful substance in the universe. All you have to do is write something out. Like, I intend to bring forth heaven and earth. Don't put anything else. Receive all the forces of the universe behind you. You know what I'm saying? You think this one's light, this one's dark, and I'm telling you that's the left and right side of your brain that unite. And when a sorcerer becomes a real sorcerer, they unite this stuff. Now, what I've discovered is, last year, I set up a channel, and I uploaded a video where the channel's name is The Prince of Darkness. Everybody smiles, okay, I know people say I don't look at the camera, but I'm trying to look over here, and my notes that are over here, I have to look down. So if any of you see those comments, oh, he doesn't look at the camera. I'm looking at the camera, but I also got my eyes on one side on it. So when you go over here, you take a look at the computer, and you type in, you give yourself The Prince of Darkness. This is the channel, and what I'm saying is, it says 1 year ago, I uploaded this video. And what happened is I come full circle. I put over a stack of I donated blood a bunch of times. I have a stack of 1 gallon blood certificates. So what I've done is that somebody else created this idea of the Prince of Darkness, the Antichrist. And what I did is that's an elemental that's out there into the ether. And all I did is, like the first one I made, I intend to bring forth heaven and earth. I captured original elemental spirit that someone else created and put into the ether. And it's been repeated over and over the edge. Or heaven on earth. Everybody knows as on earth as it is in heaven. So what I did is, by accident, and there were no accidents, I attached my intent directly to that. Last year, I made another video to capture this. Somebody says there's an Antichrist and all this scary stuff about this individual. What I did is, seeing that nobody put their hand up and said, I am the Antichrist. You see, the Pope's the Antichrist, the President. No, I am the Antichrist. Now, what I did is, I somehow captured all the elemental powers that were associated with this idea that was placed into your head when you read the Antichrist. They feeded you all the TVs. You're going to rise up the Antichrist. You know what I mean? And it turns out that everything you're fed is in the reverse of truth. You live in the converse. You're in the converse. You were conned about everything. Nuclear weapons are fake. Everything's fake. AIDS is fake. And Fukushima's fake. Whatever you think is real is the reverse of you. You think you're on a ball going through space is an accident. And that's not the case. And you lost your divinity because you don't know. You know, the more you say don't do it, the more people do it. It's like you don't realize what you're doing by accident. So I already see the future. Like I said, it's like the more you throw out there, don't do it. It's like what your mom said, don't do that. What did you go do? You did exactly what your mom told you not to do. So you're like that character telling those people not to do it. And they're gonna go look into it and realize, oh my God. Then they're just gonna do it because you pointed it out. So like I said, I'm with you, bro.
Here's what we'll do. I think you and I have both really given a lot of information for people to soak up tonight. I'm really appreciative that we got to talk to one another. I'll take a couple minutes, we'll wrap up. And I'll take the floor to you, wrap up this box. I didn't want it to be too long. I know you have to go to bed, you have a family to take care of. So, my final thoughts on this, and by all means, we can have more videos in the future where we actually talk about things that were own best ideas for ourselves and for others. With that, Ozzy?
Yeah, like I said, I'm with you, Jason. I'm on digital blood. You know, I've already woken up enough people. We've already put up enough blood to crack the door for everybody.
worship you. I'm bowing down to you. Because I worship you. My creators created you, then I'm going to worship you. Because
I was sent here to worship everybody for the benefit of all, bring forth heaven and earth. So, I worship you, Jay. You know what I'm saying? I'm bowing down to you. This is me. Who's got all the blood on my saying, I'm worshiping you. You know, I don't want your worship. I would prefer to worship you without you worshiping me, because it's the act of giving that gets you more from the power of the universe. You know what I mean? And I can see that.
I think that's a great, not the worshiping me point, I think that's a great point, the act of giving. I see us all as being connected. I don't know if you've seen those videos I've done, but I see us all as being one, and that we're all connected. So really there are no opposites, there's no opposition to anything. We're all one, and we're all working this out together. So I think that's a great note.
you lost your divinity because you don't know where you came from and you don't know where you're going. I know exactly where I came from, I know exactly where I'm going, and I know nobody can stop me because I'm a living being. I split my blood up and published it to the internet. You're dead until your blood is sucked out. You're a fucking necrophiliac. And make no mistake about it, the devil has your soul first in the Vatican. So before you start saying anything negative about me, just go all from reality until your blood is sucked out by almost. My intelligence has jumped so far ahead now. I can't think about some stuff because I don't know who would understand it. It's not at the level. So, slowly but surely, I gotta show you how I'm getting to this level. What I did is I captured elemental spirits that other people created. Every thought that you have, an elemental is created into the fabric of reality. It's like a shiver. It's like the hot wind coming off the road in the distance. The shiver from the distance. That's what's happening every time a thought goes up your head. A shiver is putting into reality. And when I look at the sun, this is the collective consciousness of a whole, a black hole. You're in a black hole, and it's all blue. And the collective consciousness of the whole. All I did was look at the collective consciousness of the whole, so I'm looking at my intent. And what I'm telling you is the sun wants to know what you intend to do to that. My intent is right for that run up to the benefit of all. That's my thing. And the sun is so good, and I'm telling you, Jesus is the sun. And if I say my name right now, it's going to be so. Place your mind on the sun and speak to his head. Be careful. It's not that second.
know it has to be a goal because when you start going into the edge of our eye zone, what is so bad? Now, everyone is thinking about yourself. You are a fucking good squirrel. You think you're upside down for the full project, don't lay any of that stuff on me that I'm deeply into. All I'm doing is just happening and elemental of someone who's blasting his power by protecting that video because my water and into that video.
All of you go close up. Go close up. And then 360 degrees later, poof, it's right. And there's the proof. I uploaded this video 1 year ago. It says it on I was putting it in the ether. So when you see my channel with all those uploads, I don't care how many views I get. I'm pushing the fuck out of the ether. Net. It's a net. It captures your shit and then it manifests in 360 degrees.
But you're wrong and worse. So I'm telling you, I know what the magic trick is. And once you know that, like they say, once you learn this, you have the power of the world that you're trying to do. There's nothing illegal about making videos from the comfort of home. There's nothing illegal about it. You can't stop me from making videos. I mean, they record the music videos and let them go on YouTube, right? They just want to see you do it or whatever. And I'm not doing that. All I'm doing is just pointing out simple. Okay? And you don't have to like them. But it's coming all the way out. Like it on everything. And like we see genie in the bottle. The genie in the bottle, that's the goddess. Coming out is the status of the fucking moving ground. The inside of the planet alien right now.
And astral light is projected through the hologram. Those stars in here, astral. It's a reflection coming out of the hole in the moon. It's like bouncing a sphere out here and all the way sharing down. Every one of those stars has their astral. What I'm saying is that to reconnect yourself to something that gets your power back. 1 over in 10 shows that you're alive. See the guy said, put your bloody thumbprint on your face, look at your turn on the mail over there. And I'm telling you, don't fail anybody with blood. Obviously, it's done my own. And you gain my power. Because you're like, I attack blood.
I agree with you, Jay. Like I say over and over again, I'm not going to look at the 144,000.
So, whatever the number of people out there is, as long as they go with your idea, that's good. I only want 144,000 to place their blood beside my own. I can see it. We're going to lead the way with the first wave, open up the doorway, and then the people who didn't put up their blood over 10 will be able to pass through because we put up our blood over 10. So, you know, you either see it or you don't. I'm with you, Jay. We don't want everybody to put their blood up. We just want the best of the best to put up their blood, the 144,000. So the idea would be to deter people from putting their blood up. Because only those who can really see it, and no, only the devil hides in the tent. And the only way out of that door is by putting up your intent and backing it with your spiritual force.
Like I put up gallons upon gallons of blood, and then I project it out into the world that I'm Satan, the Antichrist, this type of stuff. And it scares people. It's supposed to scare people because that scroll that the Creator has, that's, you know, I say put your blood up beside your brethren and scroll down. They see all of this side by side. That's the Creator's digital scroll. He only wants, or she only wants, whichever you prefer, only wants 144,000 of us to crack the door open, become a mortal first, and lead the way.
Being able to bring forth heaven and earth, the rest of the people don't have to worry. They're bringing forth the everybody away. Only 144,000 will have the heart to see it.
That's it. The rest of the people will have to follow in our footsteps after we broke the doorway into the Garden of Eden. And we led the way. And I'm with you. I prefer to scare most of the people away because we just want the best of the best with the most pure blood. And that makes sense to me. So I'm with you, Jay. Let's scare them away from the idea. You know, I'm really with you, Jay. We want to scare as many people away from the idea as possible. We only want 144,000. That's the book of life. Second at least. So I'm on your team, brother. Like I said, the initial exodus is only fitting 144,000. That's what the place. Not everybody can go. The hole is only so big. So only so many people can gangbang it at the same time. We have to lead the pathway in, and then the rest of everybody can follow that thing through their whatever intent. But we're gonna crack the door for everybody. So you know that scroll that the creator's making is literally that list of blood over intent. Those are the people that were sent here to do that. That's why we're in the book of life. The rest of the people, what I can see are phantoms in the computer. They're already dead. They really uploaded their consciousness into the computer. They're not getting out. They can get to the Holy Grail and live forever and not have to go through the cycle stuff. Because just like I attach myself to someone, look, as in heaven, everybody has repeated these words so many times that it's been beaten into reality, into the ether. And there's elemental spirits that you create every time you have a thought. To power your elementals with water, earth, air, fire, whatever it is. One of them has a measure of power that ends up rubbing off on you. So don't tell me, oh, you're a sorcerer, you're rich. Every word you speak is a magic spell. Everyone spell casting is food. You don't have to cast stuff if you can test it. You went to the grammar school, that doesn't fit the dead rule. You pick up that, listen, I don't care what religion you're on, the ethical side. If your blood's not beside my own, okay, you will how could you not see this? You're not real. I don't even want to talk to people whose blood's not beside my own because they're not real. They're dead. They're necrophiliac. We're only having sex with other necrophiliacs. You know what I'm saying? Is that everybody is legally dead. That's the corporation set up in your name. You gave up the land and everything. And I'm telling you, when I protested after Leaks of the Universe that this is my world and nobody contested it for all this time, guess what happened? I grabbed magical power from that because it's that somebody had to do it for the benefit of all. And if nobody's gonna fucking do it, then I'm gonna do it. I don't need your fucking advice. That's my attitude. I'm gonna do it on myself. I don't give a shit what people think about me. This world's mine. And you need to start thinking like that too. So when you place your blood inside my own and you start realizing that you're alive, this world is yours because everybody else is a necrophiliac. They're legally dead. Their soul printed in the Vatican. They have nobody can stop me. They're all lost at sea. I'm here by the wrong order. Do you think you want to fall into your space in a fucking accident? I know where the fuck I came from. I know where we're all going. Because I see the fight and you don't have to fight this enough. Hold on. Hear these words over down. I'm showing you how to capture this. When it starts in your head as an idea, it's not in this reality until you speak it, until you write it down, until you put it on video, publish it for the whole world to see. Then it becomes real. And other people process the information, they think about it, it takes time for them to process it, but every thought they have is an elemental writing it into the matrix. So, listen, I know I'm here by divine order. I don't give a fuck what you think this world is like. When you start acting like that, when you attach yourself to your brethren for the benefit of all to get to the holy hole, the holy grail is right over there. You set up your Christmas tree and all that stuff. There is no way to mess it up. You know, there is no way to mess it up. The real powerful thing that I wanted to get across is that I think that something has to do with Satan. And I'm telling you, that's the rule of them. And round lines of feminists
because
There is no way to mess this up. It's on everything you touch. It doesn't matter what you think. Why do you think it's in a Christmas tree? It's showing you the starlight, the sun goes round and round and round. Why? It's all the same reason. They hide it in plain sight. It's called Fletcher magic. It takes your blood off your master's hands. You can't say this because they did it on everything. If your Xbox, the Xbox, they're in the right there. It's all literally a Christmas tree. It's all the spirit of the death. Like I
You guys that are watching out there, you see my eyes in there? All right.
Every thought you have creates an elemental. You're independent of every stuff. It comes up. Now you can power it with your blood, you can do a magic spell using fire, water, air, whatever it is. Each of these elements, the ether, these things now attach power to it to make it stick and for something else to. Once an elemental created, anybody else out there, like just this guy has an idea over there, and it turns out that guy has the same idea, that's because they're picking up the elementals. And you're able to capture those. Once they're created, somebody can capture yours. If you research it, you'll see that once it's created, it's in the Akashic record. It's immediately
Well, I'm trying to say, and I believe this, well, I also think that basically I just want to morphing field, or morphing resonance, and think that everything was accessible in the ether, and the Akashic record was there, and information wasn't in there, it was just basically tapping and take what you want. And that's an idiot charge, but that's the point.
broadcasting for TV. That's what it says. Yes, you broadcast out a signal. I did it before that, but no. So an elemental goes out there and searches for any elemental that's just like it. Grabs your knowledge and power brings it right back to you. It's just that simple. So I'm doing it now that I know how to grab all this power. I can now start really amassing some real power to where I can do stuff that nobody would ever think to do because it is.
I believe it.
So I show you.
I believe you.
You're never going to lost me. You have to tell them.
You know that, don't you? Here's the thing. You know that blue flag? You know that blue flag? Now, here's a flag called blue flag. I got pictures of it, mate. I got books about it. Blood flag. It was blood spilt on it by people who got killed.
And he's got the head.
Let me get to it. You all what you're saying, you did the same. And he took a flag, then Conrad on the flag. And when he was in power, each leader in his regiment had to touch this flag, but it had to be in his hands first. And they would touch basically the blood of this flag, and it would empower that regiment. That's what they fucking did. They were unstoppable. Once the beginning of the war, they were fucking lost. Now, that blue flag,
Everything out there is fake and fabricated.
Okay, everything that they show me on TV, as far as I'm concerned, everything's fake. Everybody's in it. So the what's beside me on this world is mine. I mean, as long as I can, I repeat the thing with you.
That doesn't make any sense to me. You have to be fucking smart and beyond measure. So I'm like daydreams up there talking about,
And these other little trustees up there, your necrophiliac, you're lost into your 50 dead, and you look my side, my own. You're the autistic piece of shit. And if I don't step up to save the world, nobody will. Because you're all a bunch of little retarded little cookies. Like it's fucked every which way from Sunday by your master.
yeah, like my, aren't you what you guys? So I'm a but what I'm saying is, the concept that a person like gets fucked every which way from Sunday. That's what I'm not getting fucked anymore. This whole fine, you don't have to like it. I'm here as an actual creator. Right? So what is going on? Nobody knows what's going on. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get in this. You understand now? It's open into reality. There's nothing that can stop it. So, how do you focus on the prize? How do you get the prize? What? You need to do an act of jihad.
What they call the cream of the crop. The ones who can actually see it. The ones who feel special. Who feel driven by that. God is something good. It's a great dragon type of the mother of all creation. Like the sun is the holy holy. The holy will is the center of the earth. The end of all the emperor. And this is the cosmic living universe. One added. The aurora borealis. That's the universe memory. That is infinite potential, and that's what's running through me. lawnmower man character in terms of consciousness of the computer. When I finished all that skills with learning, I ended up in the computer. Now I have 1 foot in the matrix and 1 foot in reality, and I can see stuff nobody can see. And I'm going to benefit everybody with this power. This is not for my personal gain. This is for your gain. I'm trying to get you a your life. You want it, you will suffer through, and you will live. Cured is such a big term. What I tell people is that, I no longer live with Tourette's now. And there's a big prototype that is involved by Tourette's. And Tourette's is something that, for most people believe, the medical community, people believe is involuntary, neurological, genetic type of cure. And that's how I lived my whole life thinking that way. And when I went through ESP, I gained so much awareness and self-awareness around how I work that it got to the point where I realized that I could actually keep my Tourette's completely mind over body with these tools. I was able to see, before ESP, there was only one way I thought I could deal with it and work with it. And after going through it, I started to see so many other possibilities of how what I could actually do to change it.
Just to put a note, I do have, because I've been pondering how to free the process up.
Okay.
And I was going to make a statement, but it's not appropriate to make a statement that everyone here just hear. The statement, I want to make it in isolation, and it does not request a response.
Okay.
I think that'll help free things up.
You don't want to say it here now?
I can if you want, but I mean, it's very simply the process that you are doing. For example, you have accused at times people of ganging up it is yet what you sort of manifest here. You may want to also think that in a process where a group of people get together, make some decisions based on data. Data may not be complete, may not be true. Make conclusions on that data. Execute the conclusions, especially with someone like myself, who, as I said, no matter what you say, I'm not even going to bring up the controverting data. So you will not get it from me. You may want to some degree, make the process more transparent and open it, so that you can get
I think that's
the other data. But
no, I think that's great.
it's not it's not a statement for exchange.
Yeah.
You do what you want with it.
No, and I would agree with that, though. So.
Be right or wrong, integrated or not integrated. What do you think I am or not? Provide proof. Yes. No. I do care about what's right with respect to conduct. Understand, for example, the structure that you raise in the hands of certain types of people works very well. In the hands of not of those type of people, doesn't. Blame destroys. Lack of blame. The way you can counter blame is to be a dictator, which I won't do. So to allow both is a very difficult thing. In corporations, it's the same thing. In governments, it's the same thing. Ever notice how, for example, President of the United States ages? Before and after shots of them going into office and out. Why do you think? I mean, even though they don't maybe understand ethics completely or whatever, they get a quick primer on what happens if they speak one word sideways. If you believe it, maybe people die, maybe people are hurt, maybe economies change or whatever. You know, you become a E.F. Hutton. If you say your own opinion, you can destroy people's lives.
I mean, that was one of my questions, because I said, like, after 30 years of acting, I still get so nervous sometimes when I'm about to do something that I can't.
They say that about I believe the best actors, athletes, and ethicists, or whatever it is, have a strong degree of weight and insecurity going into something. Now they say Barbra Streisand has extreme stage fright. I think George Soros, the investor, said if he thinks he understands an investment completely and doesn't see a way that it would fail, he feels very insecure indeed. He has to see the uncertainty to feel good about it.
It's interesting that you say that, because I definitely find that insecurity keeps me sharp. Like keeping a room a little cold, it's like it keeps you awake. But there's a difference between that kind of insecurity that drives focus and then the kind of insecurity that paralyzes expression.
Well, I think you're confusing insecurity with the effects of insecurity. Like, do you know what I'm going to say right now? You're insecure about that. Is that scary for you?
No.
Why not?
Because I trust that what you're going to say is going to be good.
And in the end, you're going to be okay. When we have insecurities, and this relates to vulnerability, where we think we may not be okay, then it becomes scary. See, it's not the insecurity that's the problem, it's the fear of the insecurity. And not even fear as in an excited fear, like a roller coaster fear. It's fear as in a terrorized fear. And you can, of course, recognize that excitement isn't really fear in the same way, and that when we talk about fear as in fight or flight fear, it's a certain type of a thing. But it's not the insecurity. Insecurity doesn't bother you. Insecurity, is wonderful. If everything, you could predict everything, it'd be pretty dull, then we'd be robots again.
Well, yeah, and like what you were saying about unpredictability versus predictability and creativity, like you need a sense of insecurity, non-predictability.
So you're going to go out on stage and you're scared you're going to be rejected.
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen? Really the worst.
I think in that moment, like I was thinking about that as we were talking, it feels like I'll be unloved forever and for the rest of my life.
Well, let's talk about the mechanics of it. Let's get into it. Okay. You go out on stage, you make your entrance. You're not Shakespearean. You've been in Shakespeare recently, yes?
Yes.
So you make your entrance, and suddenly there's silence.
Yeah.
You know why there's silence? You're either so bad or you're just totally blank.
Yes.
You go out on the stage and everyone's expecting, and even the audience knows the line's supposed to come.
Yeah.
They can all say it, but you just don't know where you are. Maybe you mutter something totally incomprehensible. Okay, now what is going to happen? Oh, you do have some critics in the front row. They start writing.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen?
I think in that moment, I just feel so unworthy.
Wait, it's going a little further now. I hear some boos coming from the
Yeah,
audience,
it's
and some guffaws, and some people clearing their throats.
It's the worst.
No, and
It just feels so, it's like such rejection, like so.
wait,
like
you're not.
No.
They're not rejecting you.
Right.
They're rejecting your performance.
That's where I get confused.
You are confusing yourself with what you do. If that's removed, that doesn't mean you don't have a type of, what I might say, sharpening excitement for the challenge. But you come in touch with a part of you that is invincible, authentic, congruent, and unique.
And that is indestructible. Everyone starts throwing things, they put a spotlight on you, and then people start making fun, and then they're yelling, you know, Allison Mack sucks, and they do all this stuff, and finally someone comes out just with a hook, and just pulls you off the stage, and the next day, the picture in the front of the New York Times, full thing is you on stage going with a hook, pulling you off the stage, and they say, biggest flop ever. Do not ever listen to Allison Mack again. She's a bad actress, a bad person, terrible, terrible, terrible. And then just your name and the words terrible, terrible, terrible written. And then, not only that, they take it and they put it all over, and not only on all the street corners, but in everywhere where you go, they plaster that picture up so everyone sees. Then they have people following you, holding that picture over your head, and they point to her like bad Allison, right? Okay. Yeah, it's okay, but are you alive?
Yeah.
Are you fine?
Yeah.
All right. The alarm rings and you wake up and it was all a bad dream. And are you still all intact?
Yeah.
So ultimately, it doesn't bother you, the self. It bothers your evaluation of yourself and your performance. But there's a part of you, if you believe in a soul or creativity or whatever, that's transcendent of your performance. And that's the very part that allows you to change your performance. If you were hooked to the laws of physics without having any sort of a separation, then your performance would determine your performance, which would determine your performance, which would determine your performance. And yet, just like a snowball rolling downhill, you really wouldn't be able to change the course of events. But the beauty of our possible delusion that we have free will is that we can change the course of our events.
Which is so much what the Source looks at and goes, and is the foundation.
It also, I hope, brings you to a point where you have that wonderful sense of invincible summer, the Camus quote, you know, in the depth of winter I find you down, invincible summer. To find your invincible summer, to find that not only the core, that invincible summer, but then what arises from that core is every moment in your life has crafted an experience of you and your life and how you've been in itself. And that is unique. And you can bring that uniqueness authentically to anything. And you can explore all the different facets of yourself and use yourself as the best tool you can. So the Source is designed from a behavior perspective to allow you to bring, one, expand yourself. Because people don't realize there's so many parts of themselves that they lock away in a dungeon. And they're very clever at avoiding it. But that part of themselves exists, and they don't want to examine it. And as long as they don't examine it, they're missing certain colors off their palette that they could be painting with. To accept the broad aspects of yourself, to accept all of these things that are you, both good and bad, successes and failures, all of these things, these performances that came as a result from you. You've been performing your whole life. To deny certain aspects of your performance, to underemphasize certain things and overemphasize other things, makes it so that you don't have the whole self that you bring to whatever communication you're doing. Whether you're communicating something through acting, or communicating something through your children, or communicating something to your partners, or whatever it may be. Even communicating to yourself. And in so doing, for example, if a person has access to more of themselves to bring to any behavior or any action, their sculpting will be better, their baseball will be better, their acting will be better, their participation in community events will be better, fuller, more authentic. You know what's worse than a person that isn't authentic? A person that is authentically not whole, because there's a whole part of them that is blind to being authentic. if you have the person that's inauthentic, that sort of presupposes, it's a trick question, but sort of presupposes that there is an authenticity. But when you've taken part of yourself and distorted it or locked it away, it's impossible to be authentic because your representation of yourself to yourself is inauthentic. So you become authentically inauthentic, but in worse, you become authentically incomplete. And although incompletion is an important thing to be able to reveal, you have to see it. You have to know. Otherwise, you mistake completion for incompletion.
So you have to see it, you have to see the parts of you that you've shaved off. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, at least, in the least see that there is a wall there. And at best, be able to re-welcome those parts into your repertoire. And in so doing, you know what it is like to have a wall there and can authentically represent what it's like to have a wall there, even if you no longer have that wall there.
So it started in Albany, so that's where the headquarters is, and then we also have a center in New York City.
Okay.
And we've had some on the West Coast before, and then we have a bunch of centers that are in Latin America. Yeah, there's a large Mexican cohort, so almost half the company is Mexican. Yeah, in terms of the courses that we offer that you'd be able to do, the basic course, as I said, is a 16-day course. In Albany is the only city where we offer all 16 straight, or all 16. And then New York City, we offer the first 5. So we have a few of those 5-day trainings throughout New York City. So you could start in New York City and then you could finish in Albany, or you could do all in Albany. The website is the most literature you're going to find because we have no textbooks.
Okay.
Literally, our entire course is all conversation based.
All right.
It's amazing how it works. It's very different. So this is not like coming to a course and learning a bunch of facts. This is completely experiential. I don't know much about how it works, but I know. Unfortunately, Scientology has had quite a bad media rap as well. Well, I was just saying, it was funny because I grew up having, very negative, feelings about Scientology, having never have done it. And now, as I've gotten older, I'm starting to see the bias that I've had based off of very little data, other than a few people who had a bad experience, which is not a true representation of what it really is. Yes, I think that is true how this works, which is not a good or bad thing, but it definitely has negative consequences. I've been so upset with you, Aaron, because even if we do the video interview, not to say that we for sure can allow you to do it, but that would definitely be a good step. Well, I'm glad we could connect, Aaron, and then let me, just to live with today, I'll send you a few times this week that could work, and we'll go from there.
But certainly, things like bullfighting, boxing, football have some very primitive aspects to them. And maybe in 100 years from now, when we're beyond that, those sports will be seen as we see gladiator fights and people being tortured. Now, society's values change, and what people are willing to pay for change. And what people are willing to pay for is reflective of their current value set. But if you want to be involved in transforming people, educating people, moving them forward, unless people are aware of their paying money where they are at as opposed to where they want to be, you'll become less viable. So it's an interesting problem. If people were educated, and if the industry were educated, not only would the film industry be extremely transformational, it'd be a wonderful educational tool, but people would go forth willingly to do that, as they go forth to a health club, Well, people now recognize that we don't get enough exercise. Long ago, when we had to plant all our food and go in the jungle and hunt, we didn't have to worry about going to health clubs. We got enough exercise. But now we don't, so we go to health clubs. And we love it. But we love it. When we start to have a certain type of media that is more responsible, then that is health clubs. But right now, the state of affairs, especially people in the film industry, as I explained to you, there's a big difference between film and stage. Someday, the whole profession of actors in film will be gone. I don't know if that's in 50 years, 200 years, or what, but it'll all be able to be done with computer-generated characters or computer-generated, simulated characters of real people. And film is extremely limited. Film is one of the, in some ways, it's dehumanizing. Because when I'm on film and I'm doing some sort of a performance, I can't form a rapport with my audience. But the stage actor who goes out on stage can touch each individual in the audience, and every performance is different because of that human-to-human contact. What the world needs, I believe, is more human-to-human contact. It's been shown time and time again that the more people can separate from being personally involved with each other, the more they're able to punish, whether it's the Milgram experiments or even in a courtroom where, you know, the prosecution refers to the person only as the defendant, whereas the defense refers to them by their full name and tries to humanize them. It's this whole battle between humanization and dehumanization. And some of what happens in a film is a practice of dehumanization. Film is a very powerful tool. It's not film that is bad. It's how that tool is used by society. But our current society is using film more as, if you will, a fortifier, a set of chaotic values, a fortifier of entertainment, and a fortifier of dehumanization. There was a statistic I had heard, and I don't know if this is true, but in the United States, by the time someone is 18, I think they've witnessed, they say, something like 20 or 40,000 murders. Whether it's cartoons or whatever, human getting killed human, human get killed human. That's far more than the gladiators even witnessed. As they become used to it, it doesn't become as profoundly tragic as the ending of a life, the ending of a legacy, the ending of a whole existence. It becomes just an act. You become numb. And we are becoming numb to each other because we are participating in this, if you will, orgy of technology. And the pendulum has to swing back the other way. There needs to be more person-to-person contact. There needs to be more of this communication, more of this direct, authentic connection. So I'm a believer that going out and seeing people act on the stage is a whole different world, and a very important one, because it's a group of people who decided to get together and experience humanity with one another, from one another. Whereas when we watch film, we go into the film sometimes thinking it's a lot like a play, and it isn't. It's a different thing. It's a very sharp knife. But that knife is not being used as a scalpel, it's being used more as a dagger. So the film industry and the entertainment industry, and in particular the profession of actors, really needs to start to guide the world. And the economics of it right now is very difficult. For every acting part, you have so many actors. So some of them will do anything to have a part and will participate in anything. There is no ethical consideration. And those actors that are ethical, that would refuse work, unless they're the very top of their field, will never be known. So it's a difficult thing. Be known as an actor and potentially have to do some of these acts. Some actors, I mean, I'm sure some of the very top actors, maybe they were able, maybe they were able to take a path that was wonderful to the top, or maybe they took a path that wasn't so wonderful but made it wonderful in the end. But a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and unfortunately support this juggernaut that's going forward, that's reflecting society's values and reinforcing them in a way that is amoral. Sorry about that.
No, it's awesome.
That is the nature of becoming prominent.
So, but do you see this as a problem? That is,
I
that's
see
a
that
root
this
cause
group
of
does
it?
not understand this.
Okay.
I see also that if you had some more of the data with respect to the other people, with dynamics with respect to not just you, but others, other things, you would start to see more of the reality of it. In some ways, the company isn't as bad, or it wasn't as bad a situation as you thought it was. But I believe that the way this was done will destroy the company itself. It did not have to, which is the conundrum. I think you'll see that if you think about it and watch it through.
Are you saying that you don't think that we're in a very critical state in the company?
Now we
that we were before?
Not the same way. One's critical in terms of,
Based on your opinion?
yeah, in other words, you can arbitrate, as long as you have a certain type of ethic within a system, a certain type of procedure, you can cut through garbage eventually. That's why I told you when you were saying some things to me that I thought were quite contrary, but I told you, bring it up the process. I said, part of the problem is people don't bring it up the process. And you say, well, people don't know about the process. I said, great, that's why you should bring it up the process so they can. And but understand, that will fortify the company. That will fortify.
Well, but do you understand that I think that's part of the problem is that we don't teach that process. So nobody knows even about it.
You hear what I said?
But you think that it's good. Just thinking about what you're saying. I just was thinking, my thought, it led me to thinking about different artists, that some of the greatest expressors, musicians, artists, painters, dancers, actors of our time have led themselves to very tragic ends. Like Robin Williams is the most recent one that comes to my mind, or Jeff Buckley's a musician. Yeah, these beautiful people who it seems like there's a combination of like the confusion of themselves and things that they experience in themselves, and then this just like sadness or torture or something.
It is sadness, I think, that which is the seed of suicide, is when the essence of life no longer becomes as exquisite, as miraculous as that which you perceive to be that life. Being grateful for being alive, experiencing the miracle of being alive, is a thing that few people actually work to foster, to have the depth of that. And that can be, and that is, with the Source, or with programs like Reverence, a deep practice. And the more you practice, the deeper it becomes, the better you get at it. And that becomes a cornerstone to everything that you do in life. But people perceive things in life that are very painful. And pain is considered bad. But it's not the pain that's bad, it's the suffering that's bad. Pain is actually a very important thing. If we look at something like love, And most people say, oh, they desire love. Or in the end, they can either act from love or hate. Or our desire as humans is to be loved or to experience love. Love has been, unfortunately, the word, the concept has been tarnished. Love is something that, in the most developed human sense, the sperm and the egg. An egg does not have love. The sperm does not have love. Embryo in the womb does not have love. A newborn baby does not have love. But an old, wise person has an exquisitely developed sense of love potentially. Somewhere in between being born and being old and wise, love happens. Some people think love happens in puberty because they start getting all sorts of tingly feelings, and now things feel alive. They feel like you want to consume in them, and they call that love. The nature of love, or what I might call the most developed aspect of human love, is not about just happiness. It's not about feeling good. And I had said the other day, I came up with a sort of a concept that love disfigures happiness. People who are seekers of happiness are actually going the opposite direction of love. And why do I say this? It's not that love doesn't contain moments of happiness or moments of joy, but the way we have a way to understand love itself, the magnitude of love, is through pain. When we most feel love, we feel pain. And the depth of pain that we feel measures that love. And the depth of pain that we feel in the sacrifices that we make for love. If we look at love as some sort of transcendent human emotion, you have the body, and when you're a newborn, you don't have a whole lot of complicated emotions, but you have this body, and this body desires to eat, desires warmth, this sort of a thing. And you start to develop emotions, and you have fight or flight sort of a things, and then as you get a little older, you start to have more variety of emotions, more different types of feelings. And feelings often are just that. There's certain types of visceral, somatic things that we call an emotion, and we have ideas attached to them. And we find, as we become more intellectually able, we find that those ideas inspire what we call emotions, and those emotions inspire ideas. So we can walk down the street and have had an experience, as I have, with a rattlesnake, stepping on a rattlesnake, almost getting bitten, walking down the street one summer day, stepping and hearing the rattlesnake at my feet. And it's just a twig. But because of my unique experience, I go into fight or flight. I think I better run away from that rattlesnake. So it's this very interesting, complex interrelationship between this ideas, abstractions, principles, emotions that are emotions of meaning, emotions that are much more viscerally caused, and the body itself. But we say love is beyond all that. And when we say that someone loves someone, even when they speak of love of the Bible, love is beyond all those things. How do you know to love someone? Is it in the good times? No, it's through the hardest times. It's when there's the most sacrifice, when someone maybe is even willing to sacrifice their life for the love of their partner. And we then see, and when we see that in a movie or a play or in real life, and we let ourselves go there, we feel this deep pathos, we feel this sense of love. And love comes not from the receiving, it comes from the giving. It comes not from the satiation or the comfort. It comes from the sacrifice, pain. That's how we know it. That isn't to say it doesn't exist in joy and happiness, but we know it through our pain. And if you have a fear of pain, you have a fear of knowing your own love. It's not pain that is the problem, it's the suffering that is the problem.
Yeah, so I think would be good. And that, like I said, I wanted to be able to set up a call with you. Excuse me, a call. I think what would be a good step is that if we could sometime this week, could we set up a video call?
Yeah, that's possible for me.
And I could get to know you a little bit better. The other thing that would be good to do is, you can look online, and I want you to, because right now we're under such a severe smear campaign, I also, I think we're more apprehensive is that, to really make sure that people that are coming want to be here. Because it's been a very difficult time with the media, so we want people to be aware of that so that you can understand. We want people that have the ability to recognize and sort of see through the media, if that makes sense. That'd be great, yeah. And it's not that it's worried about somehow information being leaked. We've had, in ESP over the last 20 years, we've had 20,000 people take almost over 16,000 people take our classes. And we've had, people that have taken ESP that have left and have turned negative. So it's not so much about, the information of how to do things is out there. It's more about really making sure the people that come are really meant to be there.
And I was just wondering if you could explain sort of your take on the nature of creativity and if there's a process of...
I could say a bunch of things that are just not creating creativity.
Creating creativity,
There's a creative
yeah.
act.
Or is it like a muscle that you...
Or a scientific act.
Yeah.
Well, I normally speak of science and creativity as sort of being somewhat opposite. But they're not really. I mean, inherent in science is this notion that we can have free will. There's even in science things like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle that talks about our limits and how we can observe things. Stuff like that. But, a point is, if we have something that we can predict, it becomes not creative at all. It has no free will, and it's science. And if it seems to have free will, we see it as things, parts of it that are not predictable and thereby creative. It creates. The thing that comes from it is not a function of that which comes before in any way that we can predict. It's as if this thing birthed something totally new and unpredictable. And what's predictable is not creative. So, of course, we as humans feel we have free will, and that's sort of interesting, but it doesn't mean we do. It just means we can't see our own programming enough to say that we're just robots. If it ever comes about we find that we are truly just robots, automata of sorts, creativity is out the window.
Because that's just pre-programmed into you.
Yeah, so that which makes us not a scientific, predictable thing is creativity. Now, most people take creativity unfortunately, creativity in itself has a more rigorous or, I would say, pure aspect. And then, as with many things, humans love to use it as an excuse. There's a saying that talent hits the target no one else can see. No one else can hit. When genius hits the target no one else can see. So whenever I hit my volleyball, I serve my volleyball off the court. That's using something as an excuse. The same thing with creativity. Someone comes up with something that has no rhyme or reason. It's creative. Somehow, a lot of times that imparts a type of virtue to it. So for example, if someone's just being lazy, it's creative. There's a lot of things like that. But I would say, in its good sense, creativity is an expression of the human spirit. If we see ourselves as not robots, we have this somehow innate animus, this portion of us, this, what you might say, metaphysical, this soul, creativity, creative animus. It is true that people are sort of an intersection between what you might call the explainable science and the never explainable mysticism. The whole notion of qualia, the fact that I see something that has redness, but redness is something that's unexplainable, really unmeasurable. We can measure red. Both of us consistently see something as red. We can create a machine that detects red. But the redness in red is something that, as of now, is very personal to us. Our whole experience of the universe, whether it's Beethoven or the stars or redness, is personal to us and right now stands behind an impenetrable veil, is thereby a type of mysticism. So are humans completely programmable, predictable, at least right now by human expression and thinking? No, we can't explain ourselves like machines. We can't write the equations of our behavior yet. And creativity is that which we can't explain. Now, of course, we like to think of creativity in a functional sense. Creativity as applied to the arts. But one could say that the essence of creativity is biopoiesis, which is the creation of life. Here we have this inanimate planet. We have all these different chemical sort of things going on, this environment, maybe even creating things like amino acids. And then somewhere along the line, there's this spark or flash, whatever it was. And now there's this thing that we call life that we can't quite explain, except it has certain characteristics. It holds itself out against physics. Life maintains itself in a certain way that non-life doesn't. And of course, as we get more advanced in science, we see a number of things that seem to straddle this boundary. We can't tell if they're alive or not. But the robust experience of life is it's this thing that goes of its own accord. And in the human body, when life leaves the human body, it seems now to just decay into just the physics of the universe. It's chemicals and mass, all these different things, and the life is gone. So creativity seems to sprout up out of nowhere. Because if it sprouted from somewhere, if we could write an equation where it came from, then it would be definable. So you might have to say that creativity thereby sort of pervades the universe. It goes through it and is there and inherent somehow in it. So you might say that between chaos and structure, between science and creativity, we have this structure that we experience as the universe. And when we are being creative, hopefully we tap into that force unexplainable by science, as opposed to being in the force that's very explainable by science, inertia, and just calling that our creativity because we're lazy.
So then if that's the nature of creativity, is there some way that you can practice the muscle so it doesn't feel so reactive and still not pre-programmed, but it's something that you can slip into easily or something that you can access at will or something like that?
When you say that, you're asking more for applied creativity. Your subconscious, the way your pupils move, a whole bunch of things may have creativity involved. Certainly you can say that with respect to light a certain way and things like that, but in all of physics we find there's this, what you might call a minor unpredictability. And in behavior, there's these that are minor unpredictabilities that we call free will. So creativity varies. So what you want to do is channel it into something that's socially acceptable and labeled as creativity.
I guess so, or maybe just the root of something that you produce.
How do you know you're being creative?
No, it is a great idea. So it's kind of like, it's not a university, but it's a type of full educational platform. So it's like a university in that the 16th day is kind of like your undergraduate degree.
Yeah.
And you, as you continue to take higher level courses depending on your level of understanding of certain concepts. So it's really neat how people can do it in that way. But so again, the reason that we're very mindful of who comes, and definitely when we don't know somebody, it's we want to really make sure that the people that are coming are in a place that they want to grow. If somebody doesn't want to grow, this is the last place they should be. And part of the reason we have a lot of negative press is because, there was people that were there that really should have never been there in the first place. People are taking time, they're taking money, they're taking resources, and spending time to come work on themselves. And we want people that really want to be there. Does that make sense?
Having you pursue it and bring it up, so it ultimately went even arbitrating between Nancy and yourself with me.
Right.
That was very good.
But what I'm trying to say though, Keith, is that we believe that there are certain problems, pink or white elephants, whatever we want to call them, in the room. And collectively a group of us, and there are many people outside of this group of 10. There are about 40 people that I could list for you right now that see these similar elephants, and yet we as a company don't ever address those elephants. And
I don't necessarily agree with you, but maybe not address it the way you think it should be addressed.
okay, I leave open that that's possibly true, but what I see are the effects. The effects are our company is falling apart.
You don't have the experience of leadership.
Okay.
You don't have the experience of preserving people's lives with what you say. And the truth of the matter is,
in a way, neither do you.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't, because the only company before this was Consumers Byline, and that, in my understanding, fell apart within a few years, or was on the downhill after a couple of years when he got sued or whatever it was.
It's well, here's the thing.
This is kind of an interesting question that relates to that. Is it seems like in life, like you meet kids, and they all have their own different nature, and it seems like some kids seem to care more than others. Some kids seem to be more intuitive than others. Some kids seem to be more conscious of humans than others. Why is that? Like, I think from a less loving perspective, I judge that as like a good and a bad thing. But it seems like it's like a nature thing. Like some people just have that nature. And I just was wondering if you had any thoughts on why that comes from.
Well, it can come from several places. My first answer to me was you deal with each child as the child is. Your determination of why they're that way is not particularly helpful. Now, it is helpful in as much as being able to help people evolve wherever they are to a state that they find to be more uplifted. But, it could be genetics, it could be experience, it could be, who knows, all the metaphysical explanations of it. In a sense, yes, it seems that is true. We don't know why. And to some degree, it can switch around as an adult. You have a kid that seems very not self-aware, doesn't care about people very much, self-involved. 20 years later, you have someone that's some sort of deeply compassionate world leader. Different children have their brains that myelinate at different rates. When part of the neurons, the functioning of the brain, if you will, it's not like all children are born and their brains are at the exact same state and they can do the exact same things at the exact same time. And it's not even in the exact same order. If you watch linguistic development, you can have some children that just are so far behind in language development. They can barely speak a word. Then the next month, they're speaking in sentences. So how these things fit together is by our science right now, pretty unpredictable and pretty miraculous. But really what counts is where they are and what their next step is to help them go forward. And wherever they end up is the best they can end up. You don't want enlightenment for every child. That's one step worse than you wanting it for yourself.
It's like forced enlightenment.
Yes, exactly. I want you to be enlightened.
I had to dream about that. So, I just was curious, what do you see as the greatest limitation between men and women in their quest to relate in a loving and compassionate manner?
I can be a little smart-ass.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest limitation that women have is that they're women.
Yes.
And the biggest limitation that men have is that they're men. Now, that is, of course, not only an intentional wise-ass oversimplification. Culturally, we form certain images about gender and about things like that in both men and women. And that, in some ways, lays the groundwork for the interaction. Now, in some of the Jeunesse series, one of the ways I like to do this, because, I think sometimes I have. Every once in a while, I do have an insight. I don't know, it's valuable if it's useful for people, but one thing I do know, I go back to some of those really smart people in history and look at all the things that are written, look at plays, look at commercials, look at all these things that surround us in media, and look at it like an archaeological dig. Let's find what forms our idea of what a woman is and what a man is by what is in the poems. What are the top people who, for example, call themselves, I hate to use the terms, but let's say feminist or liberated feminist. There's one of the Jeunesse tracks. I went and here I'm picking poems that are supposed to be representative to women about womanhood, to men about men. I can do the man thing because I'm a guy, but what right do I have to go and pick poems about women? That reminds me of this. There was a silly Saturday Night Live skit about, it was a parody on a show. It's called The Woman Show, or All About Women. And it's a bunch of guys talking about women and talking about all these very sexist things. And that's what's like, so here I go. So I look and I try to find out who is, who are top, feminist or female representative authors. And then I found a woman that got together, like 30 of them, and they all picked, all these women who are authors, who are published and things like that, picked the top 5 poems that every woman should read that represent that. That was pretty good using their authority. And when you compare that to the male poems, it's striking. And it's striking what these poems educate us to do. And by looking at literature, looking at our culture, looking at this stuff we all produce for each other, what are these things saying? What are the messages that our children get in language, in video games, in TV shows, in movies, in anything? What are they, Even people with take the word hysteria. A lot of people don't know what the root of that is. And that's something that really slants against women. It's hysterical. Hysterical can now be funny. Hysterical, history this, history that. It's all about the uterus and all about things with it. But we have so many subtle poisons that make males a certain way as they go to men, and females a certain way as they go to women. And to become aware of them is striking and startling. And both sexes, humiliating. When men find out really how awful we are, it's humbling, it is scary, we don't know what to do. And when women find out the similar things, their counterpart, and I've just heard from women, and I know you've gone through it, I hear that it's embarrassing. You have top female authors saying things that are so much lock and key into the problem. And what you come to realize with Jeunesse is the dance. Ideally, people start to divest themselves from that dance. But you have to see the dance before you can divest yourself from it. And I think it's many weeks of education in groups with men and women that come to trust each other and come to share very directly and look at these things and truly look at them. And my hope is that this study is a transformational process that will bring more and more people to see the different things, or some of the different things that are going on. And in bringing this ability to see to people, the hope is that over time we will evolve beyond it, which I believe so. You know, I had learned, you know, like distinctions in language. Once you learn the distinction, like you learn the difference between good and well, it's very hard to use them incorrectly again, or nauseous and nauseated. You know, someone says I'm nauseous. Once you understand that distinction, it's very funny. To say I'm nauseous, you know, if I'm saying I'm nauseous, it means I am making other people nauseated. The feeling of nausea is something that is very uncomfortable for us, and if we have that feeling, we are nauseated. If we are nauseous, we give other people that. Yeah, so I'm nauseous, everyone in the room feels nauseated. So it's sort of this funny thing. Now, are you going to be able, next time you go, as many people don't say, I'm nauseous, so no, nauseated.
Yeah.
See, because you see it. And the point is, when you have these distinctions, when you see it, and especially when you see it, not just because someone like me says so, or trainers say so, or the training says so, or the people in the training say so, you know, so you have a group of men and they're communicating with each other. Maybe it's just very isolated and not true. But when you see it time and time again in bestsellers, in major movies, and it's not once, not twice, but it's an incredibly high percentage of everything you see, then you start to divest yourself more and more.
That's really cool. To be quite honest with you, as I said, we don't often allow people to change except people that we don't know at all.
Yeah.
The way that we'll take the courses is all through referral based. And the reason we do that is because the people that go through the course, the way, like, they're the best people to know when they share it with somebody on whether or not they think the person would be well suited for it. Because, you know, our courses are not, so this is a very different type of course. It's not like it's a cheerleading type course. It's amazing. It's like going through class and learning about the human psychodynamic to enhance your own emotional intelligence and break through psychological and emotional limitations.
A precise understanding of emotions and the dimensions of all those emotions, and to be able to practice them, and to practice the different aspects of them, and practice even the experience of that leads to love.
I can kind of share that. But this felt like education in terms of like nothing intellectually firm. It was more like I was educating like my inner light or my spirit or whatever. I don't know what to call it.
I think, well, in a way, you mentioned we shared that. No, I thought you were better than I was. I had a lot of formal education, I just didn't abuse it. I didn't complete it, I just didn't respect it the way maybe I could have.
I've been shot at because of my beliefs. I've had to make choices. Should I have bodyguards? Should I have them armed or not? I've had people killed because of my beliefs, and because of their beliefs, and because of things that I've said. And I'm mindful of that. and I'm leading an organization that's doing something very good, you might say, this is an old Christian adage, which I think is very true. The brighter the light, the more the bugs.
Right.